Hey everyone, and welcome to Where Did the Rest of Me Go? I am your host, Dino the Genetic Marvel, and this is my 30-day series on how I lost 160 pounds so far and changed the direction of my life. It's kind of a establishment of what I've learned, what kind of issues came up, what I've figured out, and what not to do, I guess. Which I did what you're not supposed to do for 40 plus years. So, aha. Um, so, with regards to that, we've talked a lot about a few things. A lot of it had to do with our mindsets and how we structure things in our heads and how we approach things, and also our relationship with ourself, with our mind, and how it pieces together. Um, it's not. It doesn't always work the first try. Let's be very clear. One of the things that happened to me. Hey, what's happening, John? Continue to swear. I'm. You know what? That brings me the most amount of joy because honestly, I we have a pandemic of leadership, if that makes any sense. And I'm not trying to say that I want to lead people like I think I make a great warlord, but at the same time, like people need more and they get garbage, you know? And so that really thank you, John. That means a lot to me. It really does. But um one of the things that I like to tell people was that like during around like I have a few pictures that I'm gonna share eventually that show how much I was even in like 2021 and like I had started to lose some weight and got down to around 400 and then I got down to about 46 or 360. Um, then I started seeing another doctor to help me out with some problems and I went back up to 400. That was in October. This past October, I was 400 pounds and now I'm under 290. Well, in and around there because I broke my fast and everything has to fill back up. It's weird, but um, it doesn't always work the first time, and I think that's something that is hard to accept for a lot of people, and because. Oh, I have an ex-wife. Ta-da! It's not. It's there's lots of things that don't work the first time. That's not anything against a person or to belittle them or to make them think less of themselves. But in actuality, it's the progress after that because it hurts. And I'll tell you right now, um, something I've discussed with people recently was that like my first marriage ended and it destroyed my entire universe. I had to start anew from everything, and that was like in 2006. And I'll tell you, I'm only now starting to feel okay. That's the honest truth. And like, it's not to say that I didn't have good times or anything like that. A lot of it happened. I lost my father. I recently lost my brother. Got married. There's tons of stuff. Made friends, lost friends, told friends to where to go. These are just things in life that always come up, right? So never think that everything works the first time alone. But as I said, we were talking about food this past week. We talked about garbage, talked about knowing what it is we're eating. Then also, trying to have a better understanding of certain things that are everywhere, like sugar. Um, Having an understand that like it recently came out and for everyone, yeah, it was on Joe Rogan. They were explaining how the sugar industry paid a bunch of scientists just to blatantly lie. And it was like, yeah, sugar's not the issue. And you're like, sugar's 100% the issue. And they're like, no, fat's the issue. No, that's even now. On Friday, I went for a bunch of blood tests with the goal being for me to come off my diabetes and cholesterol meds because those things are spot on now, which I'm still fat. So I kind of don't believe it. But at the same time, it's like, hey, if that's the case, then obviously there's something to it. But the thing that I've stayed away from has been refined flour and sugar. And when I say refined flour and sugar, I'm not talking about like I treat sugar and refined flour like it's some sort of disease or anything. I'm so weak so many times. Me too. So bad. Yes. Hey man, there's that's I'm going to talk about that next week is the hierarchy of fatness and how right now it's ridiculous for me and it's I knew about the hierarchy of fatness my whole life, and it was easy and simple. And there was a pecking order, nothing to worry about, and easy, simple. Okay, even if I was bigger, the fact that like I didn't have rolls and like I didn't jiggle when I walked, I was way ahead of other people. And you know what? And also smooth. But as you get smaller, it is the Thunderdome. I don't know how thin people survive, but I digress. When it comes to food, um, one of those things that happens, and I've had it happen so many times, where you just get it in your head and you're like, I want that piece of food. I could eat an entire buffet. If I had a hankering for a Big Mac or a Whopper more so. Big Mac I enjoy, but I always wanted a Whopper. That's to be clear. Um, I could eat an entire buffet, and afterward, be like, I need a Whopper. That's what I want. That's that's one of the hardest things. Having a bad relationship with food, one of the hardest things is fighting those kind of cravings because I'll tell you right away. One of the chief reasons why I love a Whopper is because way back, I would go out partying with friends and doing cool stuff. And the end of the night, around 2, 3 o'clock, we would pull up to a Burger King. I would get a sometimes a double, but just remember maybe just a Whopper combo, heavy all, which means double all toppings, including mayo. It's not healthy. It's not good for you at all. And the fat person goes, "Wow, it's like having a salad on my burger. It's great. There's lots of tomatoes and lettuce. It's fine." It's not fine. It's very clear. So I would get a Whopper heavy all, poutine, and a large strawberry shake. Specifically because at Burger King, when you ask for a large, they give it to you in a regular uh, drink cup. So it's the large is like monster size instead of at McDonald's where it's like a reduced size, which are like they don't even work half the time. Bunch of jerks. So that nostalgia has a very significant part in my brain. I don't think I'm pretty confident that's a normal thing. So like today, we had a healthy breakfast, which was wonderful. My wife made all the things that I like, but then in turn, let me see what she's. I'm getting fatter thinking about them shakes. Oh, John, you and me both, buddy. I'll tell you this much is that I always crack the joke that I can't. If I walk by a bakery, I'll gain 5 pounds, and everyone who's has a little belly or is overweight just goes, "Damn, it's just so accurate." You're like, I don't even have to do anything bad. I just smell it, and I'm like, "Oh, I know, I just gained a few pounds." It's just it's a horrible thing, but I appreciate you, John. I really do. Um, but yeah, that's one of those things where if you don't satisfy that desire, it just you fall apart. And even now, with the trip coming up, which I'm super excited for, I was planning transit today because we're gonna walk everywhere and use transit. Yeah. Even today, like just getting used to walking and stuff. I've been going for a little walks just in the around in my area. It's horrible, but one of the things we're looking at is trying to not cheat the system, but cheat our stupidity. Like I love, especially in the UK, is a scone with clotted cream and strawberry jam. And I'll tell you, I would stab somebody in the face for that without hesitation. And last time we went, we were staying at a really posh hotel that had 24-hour food service if you wanted. And I walked down there and I'm like, listen, do you have any scones, clotted cream, and strawberry jam? He's like, yeah, I can bring it up to your room. I go, no, my wife's sleeping. Can I just sit in the corner and eat like just a plate of? He's like, you just want a bunch of scones, clotted cream, and jam. That's it. It's my happy place, and it's so much better in here. There's croissants and everything, but the whole point is that I can get it in my head. I can want to do those things, but I can't you can't always rely on self-control because I'll tell you right now, I have a buddy who takes me for walks. I know how weird that sounds, but that's honestly what it is because he is an adventurer and he likes doing that kind of stuff, and I absolutely despise it. But I know that it's good for me, so will tempt me with good conversation, and I will join him. and that's how we equate it. But at the same time, uh, he's had the same trouble that I had with smoking. It's an enjoyable, and it's extremely unhealthy, disgusting, horrible habit, and I loved every second of it, and I miss it every day. It's just I just chill and have a smoke. It's wonderful. But that's the thing I know if I go with him, hey, what's happening, Serge? Welcome. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you coming out. I hope you find benefit in this. I know you're thin and but still, maybe it'll help people live longer. I don't know. 'Cause I think that's what it's doing for me. So but yeah. So I know he always has some smokes on him. So that's also an enticing where I'm like, oh, we'll go and I'll have a couple smokes with him. Ah. A couple times I had like six and I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It's so gross. He's like, you shouldn't do that. But that's you can't always rely on your willpower. And even now, like I've quit drugs, smoking, lots of good food, and now I'm trying to retire to not be a fatso anymore, right? It's not like willpower helps, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if you're gonna say, oh, well, I have willpower that can, that's exactly when it'll fail you. And that's why, like, having cravings with certain foods, sometimes you can't get around. And that's not the worst thing. Hey, I'm glad you guys talk. It's nice. But that's not the worst thing. One of the worst things you can do is uh, put it off or try to ignore it. What I like to do, and this is something that is really I'm very careful about, but I will try and preemptively plan to when I can cheat and what I'm specifically going to cheat with. So if I know, say, we're meeting a friend for dinner on Sunday, I'm gonna try and be good both Friday, Saturday, I mean Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just be a lot smaller, have a reduced calorie intake, but also very clean, lots of eggs, chicken, salads, all that stuff that everyone says is supposed to be good for you. Whatever. Who knows? But all those things offer a lot of mass with a lot of good nutrients, but very little calories because it's just basic foods, right? Like today, we ordered Greek food, which, hey man, I'm Greek. I love Greek food, and we're like 20 minutes away from Greek Town in Toronto, so it's super easy to just order Greek food. That's a huge temptation because I love Greek food. So today we ordered it, and you know what we realized? Even between because my wife is doing great and she's losing weight, she's doing a great job. Um, we got it's a big village salad, which is with lots of feta cheese and all just wonderful. Then Greek fries, which are they're more like smaller little fries, like round ones instead, like little discs, and covered in feta cheese and herbs and stuff. Delicious. And then a plate of meat. Okay. We realized that we each got one of those. And both of us realized, oh, we needed one. Between the two of us, we would have been completely fine. But our eyes are bigger than stomachs, which is a good thing. But I'll tell you right now, I finished my salad first. Then I had some of the fries, and then I had like 2 bites of the meat, and I was like, I'm so full right now, I feel I'm gonna die. But it was like, okay, let's stop there, packed it up, put it in the fridge, save it for tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll indulge again. But the biggest thing was taking my time, chewing, which I'm gonna discuss tomorrow, and registering that, hey, I'm full. I'm not enjoying this experience anymore. To stop. Really difficult because it was delicious and it was still fresh and warm. Like it's very close. It was quite enjoyable, but that's fine. That's that's you can't force more enjoyment when there's nothing there. So what I definitely want to say for today is keep in mind that your weaknesses will always betray you, and thinking that I got this will is the worst plan of action you can practice. Take the time to have a plan, know what you're going into, and that way you can satisfy the need, the mentality, but also move forward in an equitable way. I think that's it for today. So if you thought this was beneficial, please feel free to share it, check out my other channels. But I'm trying to add things on a daily basis. I do have some new subscribers, so thank you very much, everyone. And as well, you know, keep on keep on putting effort in yourself because you're worth it. I think that's it. Have a great day, and I will be back tomorrow with we're going to talk about chewing because I hate it.